So we all know that Microsoft Office 365 or M365, as they call it now, is as a set of apps, and they've done that because it gives tremendous agility. On the other hand, it also becomes what a lot of people actually calls islands of apps, and islands intuitively imply that these are disconnected. So we think that islands of apps is a good thing as long as you integrate them in an omnipresent, unified, create way. And we call that let's revolutionize the digital workplace, because really we want to have best of both worlds. We want to have our traditional legacy intranet, one starting point. We want to have that starting point be in any of the apps or wherever your users are. So really, if you look at the Office 365 or M365 suite, it's a 25 or more actually now, I think, apps of that looks all nice and clean. You show the icons in the diagram, it all looks very nice. When you then go to the real world, it tends to be a little bit more difficult. So a lot of people ask, can I have my intranet in Teams? Can I have SharePoint in Teams? Can I have Teams in SharePoint? What do I do with Yammer? How do I do my OneDrive? Is that going to be managed by Teams, by SharePoint, by OneDrive? Can I see my calendar activities? Can I do my planner and project activities? Where do I do that? If I want to integrate these, do I have to use Power Automate? Do I use Power Apps? What about my other productivity tools? Can I get my intranet into my emails? I don't want to do that. I don't want to send emails. I want to have it as a part of my Outlook client, etc., etc. So many different questions arise all the time. And really what we are thinking is this is all great, because what this does is gives you richness and freedom. You can use the apps that are most ideal to do whatever you need to do. Teams for collaboration, SharePoint for central news access, Outlook for email, Flow of Power Automate and Power Apps for integration of issues, Yammer for chatting, etc. OneDrive for storage of your information. So you can use these best of breed applications. And then what we want to do is we want to deliver two things essentially: omnipresence, which essentially means that we want to be where the user is. Whatever apps they're in, that's where we want to present their digital workplace in a single cohesive place. But we don't want them to recreate content creators to recreate this content in every single app to deliver this be where the user is experience. So we call that unified content creation. And I'd actually like to give you an example of that using some screenshots. And I actually like to show you live, because seeing is believing, and is this real or is it not? Really, if you're looking at what you're seeing here in front of you, this is our traditional intranet page, where we have like global navigation at the top. We have like corporate news, peer-to-peer news, maybe some messages from the CEO, my policies to read, employee handbooks and guidelines, my link collection, my workspaces, etc. But then you'll notice that we have here to the left what we call our LiveTiles Everywhere panel. And what that does is actually it delivers your personalized digital workplace right where you are. And that could be things like my news and social feeds. And the thing is, once you bring that everywhere panel to your intranet, wouldn't it be nice if you could take that and bring that same experience to the other apps in the island, or the islands of apps? And that's especially exactly what we've done. So if you look at what we're doing with our LiveTiles Everywhere panel, we have that now displayed in our MS Teams client. So a lot of people says, can I bring my intranet to Teams? Yes, you can. Here's the way you do it. Or can I bring Teams to my intranet? Yes, you can. Here's how you do it, because right below this arrow, you'll see that there's my workspaces. So then what are the things that I can get access to uh, from, say, within Teams? And you can get things like my news and feed. You can see they're identical on both sides. That's because I said we're omnipresent but unified creation. You only create your content in one place. Then what we do on the back end, we magically, there's actually enable you to get access to all these different functions from your everywhere panel. And it could be like newsfeed. It could also be like my workspaces. If I'm an editor, my content governance, the pages I own, revision dates, etc. If I want to find somebody, my people search function. If I'm a project manager, maybe my tasks from Planner, etc., etc. So you can take any of these apps and you can bring them into whatever app the users are. And I do want to talk about this after I've showed you a bit of information live. So if you go and you look here, you'll notice that this is the same sort of application I showed you a minute ago. And now you can see on my mouse that I'm live. I have like my corporate news with targeted personalized, the CEO message. I have like my personal news. And if you look at this and I say, let me just show you how I create unified creation. If I take news item here, I select my different audiences. And from that, I know I need to select the news from marketing. And then I do have like my running club in Seattle, which is the next one. Then I can say and put in like a headline of a new car as price to winner. I can then take and I can select an image like here. It'll give me the different options. I do believe I recall that I had some car here. Let's go. Nice car. I can say hit create. And then what happens is anybody who subscribes to that, oh, it just needs to actually upload it. Let's do this again. Here. I actually edited. I didn't get the picture there. And the reason why I didn't get the picture there is actually an important point, because be where the users are also implies that you are mobile. And what we do is actually, as we upload this image, we're rendering both a mobile and a desktop experience of that image to make sure that your mobile experience is rendered fast. So here I go. I create my little news item. I update it. Here you see it with my picture on it. Then I can go around and I can look at my various different things that I'm used to. Global navigation, maybe my collaboration portal, where I can see my different workspaces. I can go to my self-service and see, policies and procedures for my employee handbooks, guidelines, etc., like you're used to. But that's not really revolutionizing your workspace. What we think is that if you go to look at your LiveTiles Everywhere panel, it's the combination of LiveTiles, the LiveTiles solution that enables you to do this. The Everywhere is just the front end that the users get exposed to. And I'll show you in a minute how that's designed architecturally. But if I go and I look here, I can actually see, dashboards. I can see like my news. Here you see the new car. That's the price I just did a minute ago. Here you can go and you can look at my different workspaces. And if I then go and I open one of my workspaces, like here I have cool collaboration with MS Teams governance, I can open a new tab. I already did that actually here, but I'll do it again just to make sure that you see this is running live. Then what happens is I'm opening up a Teams room as we're used to here that has all the different things you're used to, like my calendar, etc. But you'll notice that as I click on my teams, like I'm used to where, you have the problem that people create a lot of different teams, we can actually make sure that you get access to your LiveTiles Everywhere panel. And just like you saw your news a minute ago, I can now show you that I'm now showing my news feed, new car, the one I just did a minute ago. You can see that on the date. But I can also see things like my workspaces that I need to go and look at. I might be able to look at, external systems. I might be able to look at content governance as an example. If I'm a content creator and the pages I own, I can see which ones are up for revision. I might even look to like my planner tasks as an example. So by using this Everywhere panel, we enable you to take the islands of information and deliver them in an omnipresent way with a single place where you create your content. It just seems to be a little bit slow in loading the tasks here from our planner application. There are quite a few of them, so I might actually be able to look at them here as well. So if I go over here and I look here, you can see that they're the exact same tasks that I have. But to go back to my slides and talk a bit about that, what I showed here was basically how do I do Teams and SharePoint. So if you look at the way that we have delivered this integration of these islands transparently to the users is really by using our core technology. In this, we have our enterprise intranet that I just showed you a minute ago on the SharePoint side. We also have a hub that enables you to consolidate information. What we're then doing is we're taking those pieces, and you saw how I was demonstrating that to you in SharePoint, but I also demonstrated to you how you can deliver that within Teams. We're then taking that, same information, and we are even stretching it out. You saw I did like a mobile image rendering. We're stretching it out so that users, we can call them frontline workers. Those could both be users that have an Office 365 license, or they could be users without a license, or even without an attachment to your company other than a social media account or an email or something like that. And then we're able to distribute the news I showed you a minute ago with the car for sale all the way out to reach the very perimeters of your organization out in whatever app they're using. But that's just first iteration of where we are taking you as a customer. Envision that you have that same omnipresent in other apps, not just Office 365 apps, but maybe even outside apps, not just Outlook and Teams and SharePoint, etc. What if we were able to display that into Salesforce and Slack as a bot because they don't have like a very cool web interface, or within a Chrome browser in any given app like an Mercado or SAP or something else? We're actually going to deliver that with this panel, so you have the ability to access this information from any app you may have. So not just the islands. We love the islands because that gives a lot of richness and demand for our solutions in the M365 space, but even outside of that. And then in order to do that, of course, you need to have an enterprise class foundation. And what we have underneath is really at the core our data-driven center. I call this center because when you want to personalize this and you want to feed it out into the different apps, you need to know which users need to have access to which modules and which type of information throughout all these apps. And that requires that you have a central data core for managing that. Then we have an intelligent directory. I showed you people search, notifications, bots, analytics, et cetera. So this is really the platform by which we deliver the omnipresent experience, bridging all the islands of apps, and by not burdening your content creators, because we simply enable you to deliver a single place where you create the content and then we distribute it on the back end to the appropriate audiences. So just to give you one snippet on this, so we use the LiveTiles Enterprise Intranet, LiveTiles Hub, Intranet Hub, LiveTiles Reach, LiveTiles Everywhere, and the LiveTiles Quantum platform. So 4 or 5 modules to do that. And if you look at this diagram, these are based on some of the well-known brands outside of LiveTiles, including Wisdom and Matchpoint. And as you'll see here, we are rated the highest in some reports, and we're really proud about all the awards, etc. we've been given. So really, to wrap up, we think islands of apps in Office 365 is a great thing. It enables you to get the best of breed application for whatever task you need to do. And we believe that using our omnipresent unified create strategy, we will enable you together with us to revolutionize your digital workplace and really bring it into the next generation of solutions. And with that, I want to thank you for your time, and check it out on our website, www.livetilesglobal.com. Thank you.